Perfect. We're on YouTube and Facebook. If I unmute myself, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning and happy Friday to everybody. It felt like a longer than usual week, which is a little crazy since every day seems to go by in a blink of an eye. But I am Juliette Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I am pleased to bring to you another live broadcast. Now, if this is your first time on here with us, please make sure that you hit the like button and you hit the follow so that you can get alerted whenever we do go live. And if you are coming back to us, then welcome back. Thank you for engaging with us and tuning in to know what's going on in our community, ways that your business can continue to succeed, but more importantly, the resources that are available to you at your fingertips. Now, we've been hosting these videos since March, and you can find a lot of them on the video section of our Facebook page. They're also streamed at the very same time on our YouTube channel, that's Westminster Chamber of Commerce, or you can locate them on our resource hub, that's westminsterchamber.biz, COVID-19 updates, where we have a lot of them dating back to March. So if you get bored, if you need to binge watch something other than Netflix, pick up the COVID-19 series and let us know you're tuning in. Now, I hope that you can hear me by now, Parker. I know I had myself muted. I see Parker Brown on here. I also see Wayne Anderson, our board chair, Brian Dice, and several others. And, you know, I like to give you some shout outs. The only way I can do that is if you give me a thumbs up, then I can see who you are that's tuned in with us, or if you comment into the comment section of this broadcast. As you guys are aware, we like to be highly engaging, and to do that, we rely on our comments, the compliments that we get, or the questions during the broadcast to be able to interact with you and interface. Good morning to you as well, Wayne. Thank you for the quick message to both Emma and I, and of course to Brian Dice. Thank you for hopping on here and tuning in. Now, today's broadcast is especially dear to me because I haven't seen our commissioner for a while, and it felt like too long. But Emma Pinter has proudly served Westminster in the capacity of Westminster City Council before transitioning into her role with Adams County Commissioner. She then overtook their leadership position as the chair for the Board of County Commissioners. She is involved in a variety of things, and honestly, between her family, her beautiful kids, and then her passion for public service, I don't know how she does it all. But I am so impressed, and I'm glad that she's with us today. Now, most of you are familiar with the chat feature that's at the bottom. I will stop pulling these for now until we are done sharing the messaging that we would like to, but please continue to type in those comments and questions our way. Thank you, Lynn, for hopping on here and tuning in. With that, I will turn this over to Commissioner Pinter to share a few words with us, provide us with a nice update from Adams County as it relates to COVID, and then we'll take up any questions or comments that we have along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that warm introduction. I love my Westminster people. Been a Westminster resident for a long time, feel so connected to Westminster. Really a privilege to be on the Adams County Commission. I have joked that they have a dollar jar, and every time I say, well, in Westminster, we solve this problem this way. And I have quite a tally with my Adams County colleagues for all the times I said Westminster has a solution for that. It's a very well-run city. You all have a great chamber. It's really dynamic, and being one of the first and early chamber members, I can't even I can't even imagine what you all have done. It's just been mind-blowing, the professionalism and the resources to business owners in the community. Such a privilege to have Westy Chamber up and running, so thorough and thoughtful leadership. And I see a lot of the board members logging in, so congratulations to all of you I know it was hard work. I was there for some of the work, and I know they were long nights and a lot of faith. So you put a lot of faith and sweat equity into this program. So Westy Chamber is alive and well, which you know, and I'm privileged to be here. I do have a few updates. I know you've been hearing intermittently from leaders from both Jeffco and Adams County. Happy to follow my colleagues and give you some of the updates around the county response to COVID-19. There is a lot going on, and want to make sure that I'm sharing information for you. I don't know if you have all this information already. We do have some new features. We always try to make data-driven decisions, and one of the things that I am super excited about is to talk about some of the data we use to make our COVID-19 decisions. And before I get to that, because this is the chamber, we do have a few economic development announcements. You might have noticed that RTD finally completed another rail line. God bless them. We have the N line up and running. It was a real privilege to be out with our colleagues. Certainly very different than what we did in Westminster, where we had fireworks and a fair and candy and a community gathering. This was a little bit different. Everyone was socially distanced. All the chairs were 6 feet apart out in public, but the N line is up and running. It's beautiful. And we've been able to share a lot of wisdom for how Westminster's managed TOD with our neighbors, and they're doing great things. And we'll see that as a huge economic investment in the community moving forward. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the N line that runs up through our neighbors in Commerce City and Thornton and North Glen, please check it out. Our neighbors are thrilled to have it. Of course, couldn't pass up the opportunity as a Westminster resident to lobby for the completion of the B line. Don't worry, I did mention it to every RTD official that I saw. I know that all of you are passionate about that as well. We're happy to have the B line running where it is, but really optimistic for that day when we can complete the B line and have full rail service as we've been paying for many years. So can't let that issue go, despite being able to celebrate with our neighbors for their rail line being completed. One of the other benefits I want to share with you, it's a real economic new feature that's really getting some enhancement in Adams County, and that's our Spaceport. You might be aware, or maybe you're not, that Colorado has the highest per capita density of aerospace engineers in the nation. It's us in Pasadena, and we're always going back and forth on the pure concentration of aerospace engineers, or whether you layer in that per capita that helps us nose them out a little bit. But Colorado is very big in aerospace. We have in Adams County, Colorado Air and Spaceport to try to help attract and cement some of our relationships with those upstart aerospace companies. And many of our really big companies have a big footprint in Westminster. Ball Aerospace and Maxar have been critical partners as we've been courting new startups to come, and back in the before times, helping us host dinners to mentor aerospace startups to try to get them to set down roots in our community and stay here. So we really, even though the Spaceport is on the other side of the county in the plains, as it should be, it is helpful to have our aerospace partners who are those big giants like Ball and Maxar right here helping us with that. The newest one, and I'm going to put a link in the chat if I can make my mouse work, is something called a hypersonic drone. And I know that you guys have done a little bit with drones in Westminster and drone technology, both from a hobbyist perspective as well as from a professional perspective. This is the first that I've heard of a real innovative new use for drones. They have a testing agreement with Colorado Air and Spaceport. What it is a very small drone that is designed to transport donated organs. And when I know, right? You're like, wait, so we're going to put a heart in a tiny drone and send it from one hospital to another. But that's exactly what will happen. During the presentation of the company, which is New Frontier Aerospace, and where their testing facility, where they're testing home, they pointed out to us during that presentation that about half of all donated organs fail to meet their recipient donor because they fail in transport. There's a transportation failure, and new methods of moving any donated tissue or items from one hospital to another would save lives in a very real and practical way. Not gonna lie, I also asked if this is something that we could utilize to get my kids' homework to school on time. I was told no. Apparently that's not a feature, just for medical use. Seems smart, if I'm being honest. It does seem smart. But if you're interested in something really new and innovative, I don't know, Juliet, like you guys have done a lot with drones in Westy Chamber. I don't know if you've heard of this particular application yet.
I've not, and it's been continuing to advance, right? So we saw the change from more of the hobbyists into how can we address it into the commercial sphere. Now with the FAA really providing some additional guidance and regulations along those lines. But this is the first that I've seen as it relates to organs, right? And I think that's huge. I think that's amazing that it's solving a problem. It's solving a problem for those that have been waiting, whether it's patients that are on dialysis or those that are needing something in the immediate to be able to get that fast. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I was super impressed too, and impressed with our economic development team to work on it. Of course, it prompted another conversation with Denver International Airport, but what would it be in Adams County if we didn't get something done well and then have Denver International have two things to say about it? But this spaceport continues to be an asset. We did a lot last year with PD Aerospace, as well as Reaction Engines, both doing innovative work. And you can read about that on the Colorado Air and Spaceport website, which is linked in the press briefing about the hypersonic drone company, which I put in there. This was advertised as a COVID update. I want to make sure that I am answering those questions because while we all have hopes that COVID is almost done, we continue to wrestle. I just got this question from one of your colleagues, Debbie Teeter, over in North Glen, who's an economic development professional, very bright, very smart, about what are we doing for the homeless during the pandemic and pandemic response. And I'm going to put another link in the chat. You may have all seen this. It's adamscountycovid19.org. It is our go-to one-stop shop for all updates related to services we're providing. Housing will be there, all the different types of housing assistance. There's a new innovative program. I don't know if one of my colleagues has spoken about this in the past, where if you are a landlord, you can apply on behalf of your tenant for housing assistance. Because if you're the tenant and God bless you, you're freaking out, you've lost your job. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, is that on your end? Nope, that's on my end. Someone is There we go. I think I stopped it. Someone called me and it was ringing on my phone. So I don't know if you guys can, there we go. Now I stopped the call. It's the internet. We're working from home. We're making it work. I'm surprised I don't have a pet like jumping in my lap. So Debbie Teeter, your colleague in North Glen, does economic development, asked about homeless services. So that's all here. And if you're a landlord and you have a tenant who is applying for services and they're just, God bless them, they lost their job. That's why they need help. They have kids at home. They have a sick relative. They're at home. You've noticed that they've missed 1 or 2, 3 months rent. You can apply on behalf of your tenant as a landlord for rental assistance. The information is on that adamscountycovid19.org website. It is housing assistance in a really big way and would enable everyone to be able to get the assistance they need to make sure that if you have a tenant who's struggling, you can help them out. So you can apply as a tenant and get up to 3 months of assistance, as well as if you're a landlord. One of the bigger issues that we hear about all the time has to do with childcare. You'll find childcare resources there. I don't know how many of you are familiar with CCAP. Are you familiar at all with CCAP, Becky? Or not Becky, Juliet. I'm looking for an email from Becky because I closed all my windows when the phone call came in. Now we're just living my life. Welcome to my life. So I was not familiar with CCAP. Have you ever heard of it, Juliet?
I have not. So yeah, let me have it.
All right. So CCAP is the Child Care Assistance Program for the state of Colorado. It means if you have a lower wage worker, or because of the number of their children, they're under economic strain, they likely qualify for basically a daycare scholarship. And for the first time ever, those daycare scholarships are available for folk who are their school is going remote, or Westminster High School just went for 2 weeks or a 2-week quarantine. I believe they're still in or just coming out of a 2-week quarantine. You can now use your childcare scholarship during the day during the school year, which is revolutionary. I have information here about our story maps. This is the state of COVID-19 response and recovery in Adams County. This will tell you how many people are eligible for childcare, how many people are eligible for these different programs, and have links on how to access them. So if you're an employer, you're a business owner, and you're looking at your employees, you are paying all that you can pay in your wage, but you know that $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000 is really hard for that person to make ends meet. Those are all the income brackets where folks will qualify for assistance from these programs, whether it's child care assistance program, CCAP from the state, housing assistance program from the county, additional food resources, SNAP benefits. There is a lot out there to help all of your employees lead a more stable life and have a more rich life and more balanced life.
Yeah, that is awesome. I had no idea about that, and I've typed it into the comment section. I think that's one of the area concerns that we have from our businesses right now, is we're in a different time. And with that, we have remote learning that our kids are going through. We've got the hybrid model. How can they best support their employees that are also taking care of their kids and our families, or our mothers that are single? And so to see the resources that are coming from the state level and counties is nice to know, but it's also available now for our businesses that they can share that out to their workforce. We have a question that came through. Do you want me to pop it in here, Emma?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so while Emma is taking a second to read that, I just want to give some quick shout outs to a couple folks that I see on here with us. Good morning to Larry Godwin. I see Sheila Lynch. Hello, Lori and Josh Altman. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Brian Head. I see Erica Gonzalez and Jenna and Rebecca. Good morning to you all. Thank you guys for tuning into our broadcast with Adams County Commissioner Board Chair Emma Pinter, who's sharing some updates as it relates to COVID and some exciting economic updates that they've had on the Adams County side. This question comes to us from Brian Head, and he is sharing that Adams County has done a great job in responding to COVID. In large part, it's because each commissioner has had a different role in that response strategy. So the roadmap that Emma has been able to share and told us that this was kind of what they've been leveraging and using in response to COVID. Each of the commissioners have been assigned and have all been worked on a variety of things together, but they've focused on a few different niches of their own. Can you touch, Emma, on how that is organized for people?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you, Brian. Always thoughtful. So we have divided up into several different response and recovery teams in partnership with the community. And so we have our business response and recovery team, which has been Steve Odorizio and Mary Hodge. Steve Odorizio also serves on our Well Elder response and recovery team. We're all trying to adapt to the new language around supporting our seniors, our Well Elder program. And we also have a childcare response and recovery team, which also serves business that I serve on. And then the future of work, which is really started out as a response to those who are unemployed and for whatever reason cannot be reabsorbed into the company they came from. So it's a dedication on the future of work. We also have Commissioner Eva Henry, who is working on housing, and that certainly has been critical the past 6 months or so. And then Commissioner Steve Odorizio, I apologize, it's going to kill me. Commissioner Taz Tedesco. I know, right? I can just hear him kicking me from wherever he is. I'm sorry, y'all. I know you gentlemen are different people. It's just, I don't know what's happened in my brain these days. All right, so Commissioner Taz Tedesco serves with the uninsured as well as basic essentials, which is a lot of our food response. One of the things that's in that data dashboard that I shared about COVID response and recovery is our community food hubs that's chaired up by the food and basic essentials response and recovery team with Commissioner Tedesco, has delivered over 1.3 million meals in that triangulation between Thornton, Westminster, Federal Heights, and unincorporated Adams County, 1.3 million meals. So it's a lot. The data dashboard just got highlighted for you guys. You can take a look at the scope of the need and how everyone's addressing it. I also had previously been assigned as the liaison, like many boards and commissions do, to the health department. No idea what was coming when I volunteered for that liaison role. And so we are working very diligently as a health department, and I'm the liaison to our Board of Health. And with the Board of Health, they are working to partner with the state, with Colorado Department of CDPHE, so Environment and Public Health. And we have Waterworld testing open. I know that there are other testing facilities open. I just want to plug Waterworld. It is fast, quick, and easy. It is free. You don't need a doctor's note. We just expanded the hours. I'm pleased to announce as of October 4th, which is any moment, it is going to be open. Let me look at my notes so I get this right. 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Folks are getting their results in about 2 days. So you go test it on Monday. By Wednesday, you'll have your test results. It is free to you. You don't need a doctor's note. And you will have results. It is open through December. So we're doing that in the Waterworld parking lot. If you don't have access to a car, we just also opened a walk-up facility. So if you're on public transit or you're walking over from the neighborhoods. So Waterworld, every day, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., free COVID tests. Go get tested, be safe, all the things.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And thank you for giving an update on the location at Waterworld so folks can know more about it. And we have had Commissioner O'Dorisio and Commissioner Tedesco on 2 separate broadcasts going in a little bit more detail on their specialized areas that they've been helping with. If you're interested in that, you can find it in the video section of our webpage. And I've captured a couple of the links that Emma has shared with us into the comment section. We've got a lot of people that are hopping on here with us. Emma, Counselor Seymour is on here now. Alberto Garcia, I also see John Archer and Danielle Rothschild. Alberto has given us a comment that I could not agree with him more on. He is sharing that you have been an amazing advocate for the Westminster Chamber when you were on City Council. And we continue to be fortunate to have your leadership on County Commissioner. And honestly, it's been no different even at the county level. Your support has not faltered, and we so appreciate that and appreciate you listening to the voices that are back here and making sure that that helps in driving the decisions that you make. So thank you for that, Emma. We also have with us, Jason Gank is on here. He shared a quick hello and from his side. So hello to you, Jason. And of course, Councilor Seymour was sharing happy Friday. Looking forward to a great Westminster weekend. Eat and shop local. On that note, Emma, there is an Adco to Go program that you guys are currently been promoting to try and encourage people to keep shopping and dining local, right?
Yes. Grubhub, God bless them, and all of our other corporate partners do make things easy, but they charge fees that are really have been brutal to our local restaurants. If you at all have the opportunity to call a local restaurant directly, use Adco to Go for your online ordering. I couldn't agree with Councilmember Seymour more on this point. Shop local, eat local, and if you really want that delicious delivery of, restaurant cooked, I was gonna say home cooked, but like fresh cooked, locally prepared, please use Adco to Go. No offense to our corporate neighbors who make everything easy, but in these times, if all of us use those programs, some of their fees are 20 or 30%. That is your profit margin for a local restaurant. It is very challenging. So if at all possible, you have the opportunity to call your favorite restaurant directly, use Adco to Go or any of the other services that connect you directly to the restaurant, that will be very meaningful to our friends as we want to keep them open. Just on with the governor yesterday, Governor Polis joined us at Adams County Economic Development, which is AC Rep, the new merger of the former Metro North Chamber and Adams County Economic Development, AC Rep. Governor Polis was on with us for quite a bit, really talking about different scholarships available. We have some at the county. There are small business scholarships, some at the state. You need new heating lamps, whatever you need to keep your patios up and going and keep everything safe, please apply for grants.
Absolutely. And our grants are still open with Adams County, the mini grants, although we are nearly to completely ending the funding amount that we have, which is so exciting. That's been an overwhelming response. I think it's nearly $1 million that had been requested from us alone here in Westminster. Very fortunate to have that partnership with Adams County and be able to push that out. On that note, you mentioned the heating lamps and some things for patio spaces. Winterization grants have just opened for the city of Westminster. So if anyone is interested, the application is on the Economic Development webpage, and I'll also include it as a quick link. I see Delina that she has hopped on here with us and is tuned in, and I also see a couple other fun comments that are coming through. But back to what you were sharing. So this is what I was talking about. As soon as I start taking up questions, we get started on those. And what, if anything, else is on your radar? I know you had several things that you had wanted us to know of or be updated on. Were there additional comments that you wanted to make from your lens?
There's just an echo there. Juliet, of course, I'm sure has some sort of fabulous basic sound studio like at her house. I can imagine, like, when she does something, she doesn't do it halfway. So I apologize, I was causing an echo in your whatever professional setup you've got going on at home. The only thing I would say is wear your masks in public places and be current on our COVID data. Get tested, wash your hands. Our school superintendents really need you to do this. Our business owners really need you to do this. Your mask is something that enables you to move freely through the community. It's going to keep our schools open. It's going to keep our businesses open. We are teetering at the bottom half of level 2 of the states. There's level 1, which is like free and open. Level 2 has sort of 2 phases, and level 3, business occupancy would go down to 25% as opposed to 50% where it is right now. If we do not have a decrease in COVID cases, the state is going to force us into a more restrictive level. If that happens, our businesses, our restaurants in particular, but all of our businesses are really going to suffer. We all need to do our part to support business. Wear your mask, be safe, wash your hands, socially distance, don't cluster. I can make sure before I leave to put that data dashboard for the Tri-County Health Department in the chat so that you can watch it too and watch our numbers. The charts are pretty clear. Right after the mask ordinance went into place, we had a pretty serious decrease. And then recently in the past week or so, that our graph of cases has gone right back up. So that's not safe. It's not safe for us. And frankly, it's very threatening to our business community, because if the state CDPHE forces additional restrictions on us, we will all be challenged. I know Mayor Atchison and several of your city council members have been very active on this issue. We need to do all we can because we need businesses to stay open. We need our schools to stay open.
I agree. I definitely agree. And thank you for that dashboard. We've had several questions from folks on, where are the numbers and how updated can they be? And I know we've transitioned a couple of our platforms, and where we're looking at Adams versus Jeffco and the 2 health departments, sometimes it can get overwhelming or confusing, but this is the direct link. We've included it in the comment section. Thank you to Commissioner Pinter for sharing that our way. Commissioner, we had a conversation. We do these on Mondays with the mayor. It's Mondays with the mayor every Monday, and he shares kind of updates on what's going on here in our city, county level, and then state that may be impacting us. And one of the things that he had referenced was the Waterworld location. And it was after sharing that the Aurora location had recently closed because of the very low numbers of testing that was being done. And so we'd had a couple of comments or questions as it relates to this Waterworld one, since it's not being fully utilized to its maximum capacity. I think the estimate was about 800 people per day that are going in there and testing, which is considerable. But we're saying that it could be up to thousands that are going in there at the same time. So is there a risk for that location, or what can we do to make sure that that we continue to have people go there and that it continues to stay open, even though it's not hitting its maximum usage on a daily basis?
This is a conversation we have with the state. There are essentially 3 components to staying safe during the pandemic: good accessibility to testing, contact tracing through your public health department, and everyone wearing their mask and mask compliance. If we do those 3 things and we do them well, then we have our best chance of having lower incidence rates and better overall health. So the more of you that, if you have for example, I just helped my sister move. My husband and I drove in our car. We wore our masks. We had a hand sanitizer, but we were driving across rural Utah and Nevada. We were gone this week, and I know you had a big celebration, and Adams County was honored. Thank you very much. I celebrated from the 5 minutes of cell signal I got somewhere in rural Nevada and said, "Yay, Westy Chamber and Adams County." But that's it. We try to be safe. We try to be safe in our hotel room and just go back to our car. However, about 7 days after you do something that you consider gets you wider exposure, go get tested. It's free. It's easy. You don't need a doctor's note. You just put your name and your email. And when we were getting it set up, talking with the Mako officials, and Mako like the shark, Mako, the lab technicians were saying, you just need a name and an email address. And as long as you spell your name correctly and type your email address correctly, you will get results to your email. So it's to you. Some people have testing through their employers, but some people really prefer this fast, quick option. The more of us that use it whenever we have an exposure like that, or if you have anything that resembles symptoms, go get tested. It's free and easy. You'll have results in about 2 days. That's how we keep it open.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Pinter, and thank you for the congratulatory on our celebration. We did try out doing a hybrid program, and we're really trying to be respectful of everybody's space and of social distancing and guidelines, and from reducing the percentage that we could have the maximum capacity that was there to wristbands that pushed people away from each other. So coming up with unique things, but definitely still keeping in mind that as you go out and interact with people, it's still doing your part to hand wash, to keep hygienic, to go back and make sure that you're well before you go to those places, or once you're not feeling well, or go get tested as you need. So I place those 3 components in there: good accessibility, contact tracing, mass compliance, encouragement for those of you that are getting together or are going out of state. As Emma has just shared, they were traveling out, so they came back and did their part by getting tested and checking into things so that they're doing well and are keeping okay. Believe it or not, we're at our 30-minute mark, which goes by so fast. I know. And we have a lot of people that start hopping on toward the end. Gender, I see you on here, and Josh, thank you for hopping on. This broadcast will be available at any point in time for you guys to watch. So if you end up just hopping on at the very last few minutes, when we close out, you can always rewind and watch it. You can give us the hashtag replay so we know that you tuned in with us. And if you thought of a comment or question, but you didn't have a chance to ask it of the commissioner, or maybe you watched this later on and thought of it, we still want to get that addressed for you. So you can comment it into the comment section. And if you're not comfortable sharing it with the public, you can DM it to us as well. I know Commissioner Pinter is always happy to take up questions and be able to provide resources to you all as well. Councillor Seymour has commented, absolutely test yourself every week. We need real numbers, too many only testing with the symptoms. Absolutely, couldn't agree with you more on that. We are at our 30-minute mark, or a little bit over, and I thank everyone for tuning into our broadcast. Please continue to share this so people in your network can know what's going on, what resources are available, and things that they can do to be proactive during this time. And of course, Commissioner Pinter, thank you so much for being on here with me. I always enjoy our time together. This is no different, even though it was virtual. So hopefully one of these days we can get to interface. And stay with me as I close out, but I appreciate all that you're doing for Adams County.
I appreciate you as well. Our communities don't function without a healthy chamber. So thank you.